Hi, this is Eternal King bringing you another LOR video today. So I kind of want to talk about a new trend that's happening in Standard, and it's one that I'm very happy about. And it's basically overwhelmed decks overperforming in Standard. So previously I talked a lot about how Nora Do Nothing was a format-defining deck for Standard, and while it still is very restricting for the meta, the one thing that that deck can't deal with is big overwhelm units. And the reason for that is because, unless Broadmain gets to stick, there is no fast speed answer for just a big overwhelm unit. And in fact, this deck is so teched into that, strategy that it's running things like Ruthless Raider that has tough. And again, just kind of banking on the fact that eventually the Nora Do Nothing deck is going to run out of pings to deal with kind of your big overwhelm units. So, it's like, well, maybe you kill the Ruthless Raider, and maybe you can chump up the one-drop spam, and you can kill this. But then there's also Tusk Speaker. Can you kill Tusk Speaker? Well, Iron Ballista on 3. Can you kill that, Nora? And then, again, also even Red Barbed Razormance, Glacial Saurian, Darius, like literally just it's just Overwhelm Tribal is essentially what the deck is in Standard. And that's able to plow through Nora decks right now in that format. Now this won't work in my preferred format in Eternal, because in Eternal, Nora just gets to disintegrate everything for next to nothing. So it can answer big Overwhelm units at fast speed, no problem. But just the fact that the deck is starting to underperform in the standard meta on ladder is good. It's nice to see a high commitment deck performing well, and this deck is exceptionally high commitment, like Sky Splitter, Three Sisters, Pirouettes, Whirling Deaths, Decisive Maneuver. Man, that's a card you won't have seen in a while. Battle Fury. So like this deck is all burst commitment, or slow speed commitment or fast speed commitment, and plus the one drop spam. So like very, very high commitment deck that is doing well in Standard right now. Is potentially one of the top decks in Standard. Again, this deck is easily counterable. You could just run Frostbites. Not hard at all to deal with this. You can just start running Vengeances again. But then you start getting blown up by Nora Do Nothing again. So it's kind of like, that's how meta functions. Is like, yes, you could do better into this and tech into this very easily in Standard. But then you're going to do worse into other things. Cool deck though, I like it. Glad to see this doing well. Not much else to discuss. Nora is still going to be far more prevalent. Like, still going to be the top deck in Eternal. But seeing her drop off a little bit in Standard and just like showing that high commitment decks can beat infinite cycling decks in LOR is very good, because that's really literally the opposite of what everyone says. Everyone's like, okay, don't commit in LOR. Committing is bad. Well, then why was Swim the top personality in LOR for ages, and all his decks were massively high commitment? Why is this the top deck in Standard, and it's literally an all-in overwhelm deck, and it's massively high in the commitment value? Why are these the best decks? Again, even running Decisive Maneuver, which I haven't seen in ages. So again, like, why is this the best deck in Standard? Commitment is bad in LOR, and it really is just a case of, it depends on the deck that you're playing. If you're playing Nora Do Nothing, you should do nothing. If you're playing all in on Darius Overwhelm, you should commit to the Darius play. You should develop, like, you don't open a swing with the Overwhelm deck. You play the Darius, right? That sort of thing. You're gonna have a much better time. So this is the Eternal King signing out, just showing off that there is hope in the swamp of Nora decks. Even pro players can be wrong about their advice and the way they prescribe how a good player plays LOR. None of them are going to sit there and be like, wow, best deck in Standard is a Darius deck with Decisive Maneuver. No one's going to stand there and say that, but it is. And that's why I'm here, is because I give you kind of the real truth of how the game is played. And it'll allow you, you could be bronze tier. If you follow my advice, you'll hit Masters, and you'll do it very easily. Because again, I did it just by listening to the advice of better players. And no regrets there. Alright, this is Eternal King signing out.